We're very pleased to have with us the Vice President for Programs, Charisse Grant from the Dade Community Foundation.
Good morning. I think I'll take this off. First of all, I really appreciate the opportunity to drive up to Palm Beach County. Thanks for doing it early. So it really didn't take that long to get here. And to have the opportunity to talk about an initiative that our foundation is doing. And the reason why I'm all the way up in Palm Beach County is it's the only time since I've been at the foundation in the 14 years where we've had an initiative that's extended beyond our typical boundaries, which is Miami-Dade County. And as I go through this, I'll explain why that happened. So the opportunity to share what it is and what role you might play or be interested in playing in trying to make our communities and our region a place that is more welcoming and more supportive and can be of service to those who have been of service to us. So, the PowerPoint that I'm going to do has actually been posted, if Ben Minkus did his job, on our website. And so while I don't have copies, you can certainly go to www.dadecommunityfoundation.com and probably look through it more than you're going to have a chance to do here. Now, I just pressed the forward button. Okay. So just, I'm sorry. Okay, so the purpose of the BRAIVE Fund, as we've called it, is to assist in Florida individuals who have been active duty or former military personnel who have served in Iraq and Afghanistan. It is a collaboration of 3 foundations across the state of Florida, each of whom took a region, and each of us who develop a philanthropic grants program to address through nonprofits to address the needs and challenges of troops, veterans who have served in these and their families, which is very important, who've served in these 2 conflicts. The California Community Foundation, as I said, started something called IADIF in response to the fact that there were so many individuals across this country who were going through repeated deployments in a way that hadn't necessarily happened in the past, and facing real challenges back on the home front in terms of whether they were injured or not, disruption to family, loss of income, all of those challenges that go along with services and deployment. They started a national initiative that I think between 2004 and they just made their last grants in May, awarded somewhere in the neighborhood of $250 million to organizations across the nation, most of them nationally, to assist veterans of these 2 campaigns. And just so you know, the California Community Foundation managed this on behalf of a donor who no one knows except the California Community Foundation who it is. So this was a donor somewhere in this country who felt strongly enough to invest, a couple $100 million in this issue over a period of time. And Florida was fortunate to have 3 foundations, each of who received $5 million to develop our own programs. The donor's intent was very broad. Can only be individuals who are sort of new veterans who have served in these conflicts, address unmet needs, and provide services as quickly as possible. No bureaucracy, please. These are the way we carved up the state. Dade Community Foundation, we took the tiny little piece. We said we have lots of people, you have lots of counties with less people. So we are working from the Keys up to, even though it says West Palm Beach, up through Martin counties is our region. This is actually from the BRAIVE Fund website that has an interactive map that you can click on and read about the various foundations. You're not going to be able to read all these, but these are military installations in Florida. And what's significant about where we are down here is that while some of the other counties have bases in South Florida, part of what's happened is we have lots of reservists. And so they are individuals who are neighbors next door who don't have the advantage of the base and all the services and support it may provide. And so when they leave, it creates a very different kind of challenge for families. And when they come back, they're back in the civilian community, and the expectation, you're back, thanks a lot, sort of reintegrate yourself. But the absence of bases and support has made one of the things that have made this project, in some cases, particularly challenging. Again, just briefly, the target population, very broad, military personnel deployed, preparing to deploy, recently returned, may have been injured, and all of these include their families as well. Families of fallen soldiers and individual augmentees means that there are many individuals who are not attached to a particular command or unit locally, they may get pulled up to be in someone else's, and they even have less of a structure of support than other individuals who may be in a reserve unit, but at least attached to a unit. It's a statewide and a local initiative. We started the three foundations by creating a website that's called floridabraive.org. We're using very similar applications, so organizations can across the state sort of know what to expect regardless of which community foundation they go to. We've collaborated on some statewide proposals, and we have, used to be bi-weekly, we're now doing monthly conference calls. Locally, and when I say locally for the foundation, that means all the way up through Martin County. Local research of how do the needs look where we are, recruiting advisors to help guide the process and inform our grant making, and each of the community foundations has a grants program for its region. So Dade Community Foundation is not making grants in Central Florida. The main elements of what the foundation sought to do, because we could just do a grant making program and make this just about let's give away $5 million over 2 years. But as I said, one of my hopes was we knew this was time limited, and we knew that in August of 2010, the last of whatever money we were going to get would have come in. And so as a community, and again, when I say community, I'm now talking about all of Southeast Florida, what are the things that we can do, both as a foundation and as nonprofits, to try to make sure that after a period of 2 years, we have a community that's more aware of what these issues are, and we have a community that's a bit more prepared to help receive people back as they return from service and help their families while they're gone. So the grant making is clearly part of it, and we are now doing grant making through all five counties. Information sharing networks is part of putting this together. We sought to do the best we could, especially in Broward and Palm Beach, where we don't fund, to find key players through which we could begin to get the information out about the BRAIVE Fund, and to build a database of organizations who were providing services, interested in providing services, and that's something that will grow over time. And part of my reason for being here is for those folks who are interested to get your business card and to make sure that you become part of that network. Community resource directory, that one of the issues is there are services out there for veterans, hard to find, very fragmented, and if all goes well, we will be actually making a grant statewide to use the current 211 infrastructure to develop a specialized both call line and statewide database about military specific services on the civilian side. Education and awareness, part of what I'm doing here today, and convenings. We've already started in Dade with grantees that we've funded and other interested parties pulling together meetings where people can sort of share with each other what they're doing, what the issues are, and begin to create more of sort of a networking community around military folks.